Hello students, so myself Jyotirmay from Ocean of Knowledge. Today I am going to teach you a new chapter, that is our environment. Okay, so let us start it. So before going to this chapter, first of all let us understand the meaning of the word environment. Okay, so what do you mean by the word environment? Okay, what do you mean by the word environment? So this word environment means whatever surrounding us. Okay, this word environment means whatever that is surrounding a person, whatever that is surrounding a person is called the environment. Whatever, okay, whatever that is surrounding a person is called environment. Okay, so now our environment is nowadays getting degraded, or nowadays it is getting destroyed due to the accumulation of the wastes, ड्यू टू द एक्यूमुलेशन ऑफ वेस्ट. आजकल हम लोग एनवायरमेंट को डिस्ट्रॉय करते जा रहे हैं बाय द एक्यूमुलेशन ऑफ वेस्ट. नाउ द वेस्ट दैट आर गेटिंग एक्यूमुलेटेड इज ऑफ टू काइंड्स, is mainly divided into two categories. Okay, that is the wastes are mainly divided into two categories. First is biodegradable and another one is the non-biodegradable. Okay, so biodegradable and next one is the non-biodegradable. Biodegradable wastes are those wastes which can be broken down by biological processes, which can be broken down by biological processes. Okay, whereas non-biodegradable are those wastes which persist in the environment for a long time, persist in the environment for a long time. They cannot be degraded by any biological means. They cannot be degraded by any biological means. If we go to the example, then the example of biodegradable wastes include the plant and animal dead matter, or you can say their dead bodies. Okay, and next non-biodegradable, if you go to the example, then it includes the plastics, or you can say polythene, etc. So these are the wastes which cannot get decomposed, which cannot get decomposed. So due to the accumulation of the wastes, our environment is getting degraded day by day. Understood? Next, let us go to the ecosystem. Let us go to the third ecosystem. Okay. Now let us go to the term ecosystem. Now what do you mean by the word ecosystem? What do you mean by the word ecosystem? Okay, so ecosystem is the term which refers to the interactions. Ecosystem is the term which refers to the interactions existing between living organisms, that you can say living, existing between the living and living organisms, and living and non-living organisms, living organisms and non-living matter, you can say. Okay, so the interactions that are existing between the living and living non-living, that interactions are called as the ecosystem, and it includes both the components. Our ecosystem includes both the components, that is biotic components, okay, another one is abiotic components. It includes both the components, that is biotic component and abiotic component. So the biotic components include the living organisms. Biotic components include the living organisms. Okay, whereas the abiotic components include the non-living organisms. Non-living organisms, not non-living matter, we can say. The abiotic component include the non-living matter. Non-living matter. Okay, so living organisms includes now both the plants and animals. Living organisms include both the plants and animals. And abiotic components include, for example, like sunlight. Then you come to temperature. Then you come to the pH. Next is the soil and water. Then air, etc. Many factors are there, or many components are there which are included under the category abiotic component. Okay, now the abiotic components or the biotic components, you can see that the biotic components are completely dependent on the abiotic component. The biotic component are completely dependent on the abiotic components for their survival. Like for example, like we all, the organisms or plants and animals, we all require oxygen for our survival, or we all require oxygen for respiration purpose, and that oxygen is present in the air, and that oxygen is present in air. So we all, the biotic organisms, are dependent on the abiotic factors for our survival, either directly or indirectly. Either directly or indirectly. Okay. Now next, let us go to the interactions, or you can say the different type of organisms that are existing within the ecosystem, which are categorized on the basis of the nutrition, which are categorized on the basis of nutrition. So now in ecosystem, the biotic components include the living organisms. The biotic components include the living organisms. Now these living organisms are categorized mainly into three types. On the basis of the nutrition. On the basis of nutrition. So what are they? The first category is the producers. Second category is consumers. And the third category is decomposers. Third category is decomposers. So these are the three types of organisms which are divided on the basis of the nutrition, that is producers, consumers and decomposers. Producers are those organisms which can produce their own food, which can produce or prepare their own food by the use of sunlight, carbon dioxide and chlorophyll. So this is the main pigment which is required for the photosynthetic process. The process is called as the photosynthetic process, and the chlorophyll pigment must be present for this process. So this chlorophyll pigment is mainly found in the green plants. So mainly the green plants are called as the producers of the ecosystem. Okay. So next we come to the consumers. So consumers are those organisms which depend on the producers. You can say not only producers, which depend on both the plants and animals for their nutrition. They depend on the plants and animals both for their nutrition, whether directly or indirectly, but the consumers are dependent on the producers that is on the plants, or you can say on the animals for the nutrition. Okay, next we come to the decomposers. Decomposers are those microorganisms. These are the microorganisms which feed on the dead and decaying plant and animal matter, animal organic matter you can say. Okay, so decomposers are the microorganisms which feed on the dead and decaying plant and animal organic matter. Okay, so now, so you can see that producers are the only organisms which can produce or which can prepare their own food. Therefore, they are also known as autotrophs. Therefore, they are also known as autotrophs. Autotrophs are those organisms which can produce their own food. And consumers, whereas the consumers are decomposers, they are included under the category heterotrophs. They are included under the category heterotrophs. Heterotrophs are those organisms which depend on others for their nutrition. Which depend on others for nutrition. That means they cannot prepare their own food. That means they cannot prepare their own food. Okay, so mainly we can say on the basis of nutrition, two categories are present: autotrophs and heterotrophs. Autotrophs are those which can prepare their own food, and under this is included the producers. Okay, and next we come to the heterotrophs. Heterotrophs are those which depend on the other for the nutrition, and under these consumers, the decomposers are included. Okay, now let us go to the different types of consumers. Now let us go to the different types of consumers which are divided on the basis of the type of food they take, or on the basis of the type of food they intake. Okay, so according to that, the consumers have been divided into 4 categories. Now let us see that. Okay, so now let us come to the different types of consumers. Now let us come to the different types of consumers which are divided on the basis of type of food they take. The type of food they take. So here 4 categories are there. The first one is herbivores. You must have read in the lower classes. The first one is the herbivores. Okay. Then next, second one is the carnivores. Second one is the carnivores. Third one is omnivores. Third one is omnivores. And fourth one is parasite. Fourth one is parasites. So accordingly we have got 4 types of consumers. Okay, on the type of the food they are taking it. You must be knowing these things. So first is the herbivore. Herbivore means they only take the plant material. They only take plant or plant material. Okay. Next we come to the carnivores. Carnivores are the organisms which take only the animal meat or any other animal material. Okay. Next we come to the omnivores. Omnivores are those organisms which intake both the plant as well as animal matter. Which intake both the plant as well as animal matter. Okay. And next we come to the parasites. Parasites are those organisms which depend on the host. For their nutrition. It may be plant. The host may be a plant or an animal. The host may be a plant or an animal. Understood? So herbivores are those organisms which only intake the plant or plant materials. Carnivores are those organisms which intake the animal meat or animal materials. Omnivores are those organisms which intake both the plant as well as the animal matter, and parasites are those organisms which depend on the host for the nutrition, and the host can be both a plant as well as an animal. Now let us know some examples of all these categories. So in case of herbivores, the example you can say deer, then you can say example that is the rabbit, etc. Okay, next we come to the carnivores. Example you can say that is a lion, or you can say that is tiger. These are the carnivores. Omnivores example, a very good example, that is the human being. Human being is the example, very nice example. Human beings consume both the plant as well as the animal matter. Next we come to the parasite. Parasite example is a mosquito. Parasite example is the mosquito, which feed on the human blood. Which feed on the human blood. Understood? So this was about the different types of consumers that are divided on the basis of the food they intake. The food they intake. So next we come to the decomposers. Let us know something about the decomposers. I had already said the decomposers are the microorganisms. I had already said that the decomposers are the microorganisms which feed on the dead and the decaying plant or animal organic matter. Which feed on the dead plant or animal organic matter. And what are the advantages they are providing to the environment? What are the advantages that they are providing to the environment? Let us know that. Okay. So the first advantage of the decomposer. These are the advantages of decomposers. So the first advantage of the decomposer is that, first is that they help in the continuation of various nutrient cycles. They help in the continuation of various nutrient cycles like your carbon cycle, sulfur cycle, phosphorus cycle, etc. etc. Okay. Next, number 2 is they help in returning back the nutrients. They help in returning back the nutrients to the soil from which the plant or animal has directly or indirectly taken. Okay. So by decomposing the dead plant and organic matter, it helps to return back the nutrients to the soil from which the plant or the animal has directly or indirectly taken. And the most important advantage is that it helps in decomposing. It helps in the decompose and decay of the dead plant or animal organic matter. Otherwise, the earth would have been full of dead bodies. Otherwise, what would have happened? The earth would have been full of dead bodies. Earth would have been full of dead bodies. If the decomposers were not present, or if the decomposers were absent, then our earth would have been full of dead bodies. So this was all about the decomposers. Okay, in the next video of this chapter, I will tell you about the food chain and the food web. Okay, including the ozone layer depletion. Okay, so thank you.